Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Noah. This is my wife, Marissa, who is sitting in this summer for my daughter, Eden, who is
Our daughter.
Yes, the regular co-host of this podcast that we started over 3 years ago of a weekly conversation between the two of us. So since she's at overnight camp, Marissa and I have been, we recorded one before, and this might be our only other one for the summer, but
We wanted to put some kind of content out.
Sure, so we figured we'd talk about visiting days that we got back from yesterday. So you can leave all your comments on Apple Podcasts. You can follow it on Spotify. You can watch the podcast on YouTube. Just search the Follow-Up Podcast. So if you've had kids at overnight camp and you just want to talk about it, go to Apple Podcasts, leave them in the comments, and we can talk about it on the podcast, maybe when Eden gets back. All right, so we went up to Maine, where Eden's in overnight camp for 7 weeks. And so she's now about 4 weeks, in. Mm-hmm. We've gotten 15 or so letters, so we know what's going on, 2 10-minute phone calls. Were you nervous at all?
No.
Going?
Nervous? No way. I was so excited. Why, were you nervous?
Well, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a flood of emotions when she saw us, and that she was. I was afraid that all of her letters have been so positive. I was just afraid that there was something that she was holding in to tell us when we got there.
No, I didn't expect that. I thought that she would be so excited, and it was as I expected. Her talking a mile a minute.
Yeah.
She was so excited to show us things. I think she forgot that I also went to that camp because she was pointing out things or telling me how to get from place to place.
That's good.
Which was really great,
right.
Because then it felt like it was her camp and not mine, and that was great. I loved it.
Right, you weren't saying, I know this, I know.
No.
Yeah. You're
I was going along with her,
way.
like, oh, let's go there, or you tell us how to go, or whichever way you want.
Yeah, it seemed like she had been there forever.
Yeah.
And so we saw her water ski, which was really exciting.
That was so cool.
A little bit of tennis, played some basketball, saw some ceramics.
We tried to go to archery. There was a little miscommunication.
Right. And there was so much singing. And it's an all-girls camp, and I know it's different from where I went to camp, where I think we might have sang some West Virginia song once or twice at dinner, but there was not much singing.
But you knew there would be singing.
I knew there would be singing, and I'm used to hearing the two of you sing these songs.
Right.
But when you hear 200 girls ages 15 and under sing these songs, and so fast that I couldn't understand this. I couldn't understand it. I was hearing them in my head, singing along in my head, but I couldn't understand a word anyone was saying. Mm-hmm. It was a lot. It was.
I loved every second.
I know you did.
I wanted to go sit with them and do the cheers and everything.
But they sing probably a combined 30 minutes a day.
No,
over the course of a day.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Well, most days in the morning they have assembly, which really is not very long. But until the head counselors are ready to make announcements, they sing as they wait for them. So there's 10 minutes or so of singing.
Okay, so there's 10.
And all the bunks sing their song every day.
So there's another 5. Okay.
And then there's a little bit of singing at mealtime.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Color War?
Well, Color War's only on the weekend.
Okay.
So there's more singing then. But then they also practice for things.
All right, so we're getting close to 30 minutes a day of singing. It's a lot.
But people sing when they're happy.
There's a lot of singing.
People sing when they're happy.
And I really liked seeing Eden in that element because it's just so different than being in New York City. It's also so different just to see her around that many kids and just walking in nature and hearing people say, hey, Eden, how are you? Or just come up and give her a hug.
Right.
It's just so different than it is here.
Wasn't that cool to see some of the older girls say hi to her?
Yeah.
And just, even an older girl who I would guess, I knew what bunk she was in, so I assumed she was about 12. But she seemed so much older, and it was like she had taken Eden under her wing, which was so sweet. She said they had met at their tables the first week, and they've been inseparable ever since, or however she described it.
I
but
could
it was
see
so cool.
Eden-
But it's only been 4 weeks, so they've been inseparable for 4 weeks.
And I could see Eden doing that when she's older too.
Right, of course.
Of really wanting to be a great big sister, or
Right.
even if she's not it's not her big sister, just looking out for others.
And isn't her big sister such a gem?
The best.
This girl's the best, and she's just been so protective and so welcoming to her, and it's so sweet.
and just open to have Eden talk to her, cry to her,
Mm-hmm.
or anything.
Right, we're not really sure what goes on, but
Yeah.
every time they saw each other, which was actually multiple times yesterday, they give each other a hug, and it was just so cute. It was great. So
Yeah,
it's nice
it
that
is.
she has a big sister in the oldest bunk, because that girl is 15 or so. And it's nice to have oldest and youngest.
So when I was at camp, I only went the first, and I went the last 3 years you could be a camper, so it was 13, 14, 15, and I only went the first month. So I didn't have visiting day. Most of the kids went either first month or second month.
Right.
So I didn't know what visiting day was like. I remember it at day camp, but that's totally different. You had visiting day there. Do you remember at all what it was like compared to yesterday?
I don't know if I really remember my first visiting day. I mean, I remember
Maybe not your first, but any of the visiting days.
Oh yeah, for sure. They sort of mesh together in my memories now. But yeah, I remember the visiting day because the first two, my brother was there, but then he went to camp.
Yeah.
So then it was just my parents came.
Could you now? Okay, so let's think about it this way. Could you picture your parents at visiting day yesterday, like when you were that age? Could you like seeing everybody that you saw there on Saturday? Could you picture like, oh yeah, I could see my parents.
Yeah,
here.
especially in the beginning when we went to the assembly, I can remember them sitting in that area where we were, and me sitting on the ground and singing the songs. And I remember when the parents all came, when they let them in, and the kids would sort of wait and they would look and they would try to see their parents and run. But yesterday it was crazy because what I wasn't expecting was they told the parents they could come through the gate at 9:15. So the parents, as you remember, were waiting, congregating, and then I didn't expect all the kids to be running down because I remember our parents almost coming up to where the bunk line was, and we were in an assembly over there, farther away. But I didn't expect the kids to be running down. So then all of a sudden, all these kids come, and they're all wearing the same color.
I know.
And
I thought Eden was
and usually we're used.
I thought she was going to get trampled.
We're also used to seeing her with her hair down at home. So she's wearing her hair back, and she's in the same colors as everybody, and she's one of the younger kids. And so at one point, I couldn't find her, and I didn't know where you went. And then I just said, Eden Kozlov! And then she happened to be right there, so luckily I found her and she gave me a hug, and it was so sweet. And
it was so nice just to hear her voice.
Yeah.
Really, I really missed hearing her voice. And I missed hearing her give us all the details. And I missed hearing her ask us questions.
Right.
And also she said in our letters, she said she loves getting mail, she likes writing letters, and that she wants us to tell her more things. Which we've been avoiding telling her everything because we want her not to even think about what's going on here, but
because nothing
just
is
focus
interesting
on what's
here.
going on there.
Right, exactly. Or we've been asking her questions that take up part of the page.
And her bunk was what you expected? It's the same bunk you were in.
It was the same bunk I was in my first year, which was so cool. So I was able to show her. Well, I slept on that bed right there on the other side, and I don't remember actually who slept where she slept, but the bunk was definitely updated. It was a little bit brighter. The wood was brighter inside. Nobody had written their names all over the bathroom anymore. Yeah. They painted over that. But the bunks. Oh, and now there's a ceiling fan. That's helpful. Really helpful. We did not have that. But other than that, they're totally the same. The doors still slam. The drawers were the same in the back.
Okay.
I don't remember having that area where they had the tennis rackets. They have what would you call it? Like a sort of like a big hook. 2 hooks where the tennis rackets are. I don't even know what you call it. Exactly. I don't even know where the tennis rackets were, and I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember where things were, but it was the same.
What was nuts though about the bunk? Well, when parents come, you can bring things for kids.
Right.
Eden, we had asked Eden, what do you want?
Yeah.
And
as expected,
she said a package of dried mango from Trader Joe's, the plantain crisps from Trader Joe's, some little chocolate candies, so like Hershey's Minis, or a handful of those.
Right.
So it was a Twix Crackle and then some other just
Mhm.
regular chocolate. And then we got her a bag of non-gelatin, so vegan sour gummy bears, or like Sour Patch Kids almost.
Which we happened to stumble over last weekend.
Right, that she really likes. And then her magazines, The Week
Yeah.
Junior. And she was, and her rainbow loom, because the kids have been doing that a lot on rainy
Right, the
days.
bracelets.
Right.
Or rest hour, yeah.
So she was, but there was, across the bunk, just so much candy.
Right, but I knew that was going to happen.
You had told me, like, there's going to be a lot.
Mhm.
I did not expect the quantity.
Yeah, it was like it was Halloween.
And then just thinking, now every kid is just going to have a stomachache all night.
Right.
I mean, we asked Eden, because she does not eat, like, she might eat a piece of chocolate, like a Hershey Mini, and then eat one, like, 2 days later,
Right.
or
It
3
takes
days later.
months to go through the Halloween candy.
So-
I think we may still have some.
And I did ask her, because she was eating a fruit by the foot, and I was like, I said, have your eating habits changed here? And she said, oh yeah, I'm eating a lot of stuff here that I don't eat.
But not
at
because
home."
of candy, because they don't have candy normally.
No, but
it's more the stuff that they have at dinner.
at dinner, right.
Or the meals.
She said she
shall we
still
say.
loves the curried chicken is her favorite,
Mm.
and she likes French toast and fruit and the sticky buns and eggs on Sundays.
Right.
And she said she's been trying to eat salads at lunch
Yeah.
and get other vegetables. So
So
I
let's
hope
hope
she's
that's
alright.
true. Yeah.
I hope she
I
doesn't-
think she's fine. She
I-
looks
I
fine.
hope
She
doesn't-
did
I hope
not
she
look.
doesn't come back and say like, yeah, I really want to eat this.
No, but she already asked for the vegan mac and cheese that she likes as her come home meal, and then
That's nice.
the sweet potato black bean burgers, which we like to make. So I
Okay.
think she misses some of those home foods.
She looked the same. I thought
She
she
looked
looked.
the
I
same.
thought she looked a little taller.
Yeah.
I thought her legs got a
She had a
little longer.
nice tan, which is great because as we talked about last time on the podcast,
Yeah.
it really has
Weather's
not
miserable.
been great this summer, unfortunately. But they're making it seemed like they were making the best of it. I didn't hear any kid complain that the summer's been so bad because it was raining, or they've just been making the best of it.
Seems like she's in the showering all the time.
Yeah, well, they have periods where they designate
After
that
shower,
they take
yeah.
a shower. Yeah.
She said she's cut her fingernails and her toenails.
Right, we didn't
Did
even
you look?
No.
I didn't either.
I just took her word for it.
Yeah.
I trusted her.
Yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't come home with weird ingrown toenails or something. I don't know.
No, the counselor would look too, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure we'll be fine.
And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I said something to her about have they been clipping your nails? And she said that she was doing it and everything was okay. So I said, all right.
Okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, nothing smelled.
Oh, one thing we found out, so we had sent her with a clock, which was a
Oh,
gift. Sorry, Mom. We said something about what time do you wake up? And it was crazy to hear that she said she's been waking up before the bugle. The bugle, as you know, wakes them up. And we said, well, just look at your
7.
clock to see what,
It was
7:30.
7:30.
I think.
Okay.
So we said, what do you mean you don't know what time it is? Just look at the clock. She said they took it. I mean, I'm sure they'll give it back to her, but we didn't know that the kids were not allowed to have clocks.
So she just wakes up.
But I think maybe it's because they don't want them thinking about what time it is. They just want them living the camp life. Now, if there's a date on the clock, they don't want them knowing the date.
Oh, sure. So she just wakes up and then sometimes she says
it's light.
Right, she said she can tell by sometimes how light it is.
Right, the birds are chirping.
The birds are chirping.
She's a woman of the sun, right? She goes with the sun. That's the body clock, I guess.
Yeah. She said she's only slept through the bugle once. Like,
Right.
she didn't- Yeah.
Okay, but she wakes up early here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was so much fun. The water skiing was so cool. That was one of my favorite parts. I was so proud of her because I know my first summer, I definitely did not get up on water skis by myself. We had a counselor help
That was
us.
fun.
And then the second summer was when I was able to do it by myself. But she said, she had told us before she had the ski period that she had gotten up by herself. And without the boom, with the rope. And we said, what? So that was so cool. So she was able, I think, I didn't hear this, but you said that they were only allowed 2 tries just to keep things moving.
Yeah.
So each kid could show their parents. And she got right up on the second try. It was so awesome. And you were videoing her. It was like a 2.5-minute video of her going around the lake. It was so awesome. And in between the 2 docks, she was able to come by and be a little bit closer. to
Yeah,
the
and
parents.
you could see her, like, a big
and
smile when she
it's
came
so
off.
cool.
And she even told us beforehand that she'd gotten up on skis like earlier in the week or
Yeah.
last week, and she said, "I was so proud of myself." Which,
so great.
Which is nice.
And now she said they tie the skis together for the smaller kids. Not that they're smacked together, but so that their legs can't spread apart. I guess, and you could break your leg, or I don't know, or it's more reason to wobble and fall. So now the skis are tied, so you can only keep them probably shoulders width apart.
They don't cross.
Or right, so the skis don't cross. Yeah, but it was so cool. So cool to see that. I was so proud of her. I was so glad it didn't rain. It was a gray day. We got really lucky that it didn't rain. So
and the other parents were nice.
Yeah, they were so nice. It was nice to meet them because I've been texting with a lot of the moms, so I know someone is like, this one, so and so's mom, but I don't know what any of them look like. So it was nice.
And it was a reunion for you.
Yeah, it was nice to see some of my camp friends.
25 other women there.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing when you said, what was it like when our parents visited us? There certainly were not that many alumni.
Yeah,
I mean, a small handful, maybe one or two. And now there were probably, I didn't even know all of them because some were not even at camp when I was there, but it was nice to see some.
I met a woman who was from 85.
Yeah, 85, 87.
Yeah.
Right, that was when they were in the oldest age group. The funny thing was seeing some people who were the team captains when I was there. And, if you're the captain of the team, you're like royalty at camp.
Color workout.
And so to see some of them now, and then their kids are there, and some of their kids are now the captains, it's so funny. But everybody looks the same. Like, I shouldn't say the name of the camp. But
that's all right.
It's okay. This camp, the girls all look the same. They have the same kind of vibe. And what was so cool, I think, when seeing Eden there, was that the kids, it's a uniform camp, so the kids don't have an issue with who's wearing what. There's no competition. And no kid cared about what they looked like. They were, they're changing from the wet bathing suit is off and the clothes are on and their hair's up and they don't care and their frizzy hair and everything. It's so humid. They don't care. And it's so great. Yeah. They just want to have a good time. And that is completely eliminated when they're at camp. And the girls who were at camp when I was there, they looked the same with just a little bit of makeup and sometimes straighter hair. And it was great. It was really a good day. Yeah. And I was
glad she was happy to see us. All the hugs and I love you so much and at random times.
She didn't tell us get out of here.
Which was it was really nice.
Yeah, you enjoyed playing basketball on the court with her, and
it was a good time. It was a good time. And now we'll see her in 2.5 weeks.
See her in 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
And we get our last phone call coming up this week.
That's right, Wednesday. So what should we talk to her about? We'll say we just.
Yeah.
We can say what did you do after relapse, and then there's a show tonight that is one of the age groups puts on that show.
Yeah,
so we have
to
ask her about
to
that.
talk to her about.
Of course, there's plenty to talk to her about. Just kidding.
All right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed visiting today.
You too.
Thanks.
You too.
Love you.
Love you. Mwah.